What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. Special guest in the building. I'm sure you all know who he is by now. FFTV, Franny Green in the building. What you saying, bruv?
What's happening, mate? What's happening? Good energy, good energy.
Pleasure to have you here, bro. And listen, mate, I'll do the intros before we get into the show. Obviously, for those of you who don't know, me and Fran, long-time friends, and I'll be doing work on his channel. He'll be on this channel as well. And he's close to 1,000 subscribers. He's at about 950 now. When he hits 1,000 subscribers, he'll be doing a PS5 giveaway at the end of the month. So he's doing a serious giveaway there. So I'm looking for the community. Can we get him to 1,000 today? He only needs about 50 subscribers. So, you know, I'm leaning on the community today to get you over the line. And I want to know, like, I'm trying to be in that draw for the PS5, you know.
Yeah, well, listen. The only problem is, Kurt, yeah? If you win it, everyone's going to say it's fixed. So you can't win it, mate.
So I can't win it, can I?
The little man might be able to.
Yeah, I'll put my son in it, and then
But we'll do it like you say, end of the month, because you just can't get older one at the moment. You really can't get older one. So I'm gonna wait, give it 3 or 4 weeks. So make sure you subscribe, and then at the end of the month, you know, we'll probably do it on here as well. You know,
do it on
here as well. Yeah.
And the link is in the description below for his channel, or just type in FFTV and it should be there. So let's hit you 1,000 today. Right. For those, I'm just letting everyone know, Fran's got to go at 2:30. So the first half of the show will be me and Fran. Second half will be me by myself, Arsenal, all of that transfer stuff. Right. Let's get started. We'll start with Arsenal, actually. Granit Xhaka. I saw you did a show on him the other day. I've been banging on about him as well the past few days. What's your thoughts on, you know, this potential new deal?
Well, actually, you know what I'm like? I love to talk, Kurt, don't I? I love to talk. We talk for hours on the phone.
Yeah.
And I did a video, believe it or not, and I was actually silent for the first probably 90 seconds because I've tried everything. I've even tried to spin a positive on it. You know, I'm always trying to spin a positive on it. I cannot find one positive. In fact, tell a lie, I found one positive. He's actually the second best midfielder we've got at the club, and that's a scary prospect.
He is.
But he is. I just can't get my head around it. Rather than taking 12 million, you're going to give him 24 million to stay. Strange one. And he's got to do something because we're already on his back. So he's got to be a world beater for us to not get on his back. But I just can't see it. I can't see what the thinking is behind it. Can't.
The thing is, I mean, Arsenal fans have been on this guy's back for a while, and he doesn't seem to care that much. He stuck his finger up the fans, told them to F off, you know, threw the armband on the floor. He was flirting with Mourinho all summer, and still, new 4-year contract.
Well, we know there's no loyalty in football, as you know. But the way he was pushing this Roma, he was saying Mourinho's the best thing since sliced bread, and I want to be here and I want to be there. He's come back. He's realised that it ain't going to happen. And now he's been offered a deal I just can't get my head around it. I really can't. I think they're probably thinking, if we do sell him, who do we get in at this late time? Because, to be honest, we're struggling. We're struggling in the center of the park, big time. Yeah. So I think they're thinking, we're not going to get no one in. So we need bodies. We're going to have to keep Xhaka. I think that's the reality, you know.
The thing is, Fran, 2 years left on his deal. Does he need to... All right, let's say you keep him, but does he need a new contract?
This is what I was on about on the stream the other day. Me and you played, and when our contract was up, it was up. You know, it was like, you're either going to get a new one a month before your contract was ending, or you're out the door. But to give people new deals when they've got 2 years left, and it's not within the contract. You know, like when Rob Holding signed a new contract, it's so many appearances, you know, and then you get a new contract. That can't be the case with Xhaka. It's simple as, well, we want to keep him, so we'll offer him another contract. But I don't understand why you give it. Just let his contract run out.
Yeah, man. I mean, Ram's comment here, Curtis, if he gets that 4-year deal, it will be 1 year away from an obligatory testimonial match. I mean,
wow.
What has Arsenal become if Granit Xhaka is getting 10 years and a testimonial at Arsenal?
You know what? I didn't even know he was there for that long. You know, normally a player is at a club for 10 years. He's a legend, isn't he?
Yeah, of course he is.
This guy's just in the mix, just coasting through, picking up millions.
Yeah.
You know, I'm lost for words. Honestly, I am lost for words. Why we
now, obviously, the one bit of hope that I was kind of clinging to that I didn't really expect was I thought Granit Xhaka might be so arrogant that he actually rejects the contract. But you know what I mean? It's now come out. Fabrizio Romano did a podcast yesterday, and it sounds as if he's accepted what's been offered. Pay rise. He was on 100 grand a week. Doesn't say how much he will be offered, but you're assuming 110, 120, 130. 4-year deal. I mean, no wonder he's got a smile on his face.
Well, listen, he's signing that, and he's snapping our hands off. Let's be honest. He's snapping our hands off. And the thing is, how contracts work, Kurt, as you know, is you can't offer the same amount and you can't offer the same years. So he has to have more than the 2 years. Why he's got 4, I don't know. And it has to be an increase on his wages. That's how contracts work. So it's just mind-boggling. It's absolutely mind-boggling that we thought we was going to have a complete clear out. We thought we was going to get rid of the dead wood. We thought we was going to get rid of the players who are not comfortable and good enough on the ball. Yeah. And like we said, looking at our squad at the minute, we're worse than last season, it feels like. To me.
It does.
It feels worse.
I mean, the crazy thing is, I'm looking at it now. The players we've got rid of are 3 players that were out on loan last season anyway. Guendouzi, Saliba and Mavropanos. We haven't actually sold anybody. We haven't earned any money yet.
And 2 of those, I understand with Guendouzi, right, and the attitude thing or whatever has been looked at. But those 2 players are better than what we've got in the camp at the moment.
100%.
So we've let 2 out of the 3 go who are better than what we have in our changing room already. Yeah. For me, he's putting his head on the line, and I think it's going to get chopped off. I've got to be honest.
I mean, I said yesterday on a stream, without sounding negative, because listen, whether I rate Arteta or not, I hope he does well. Yeah. But I don't see him being in charge at Christmas. I just don't think he will with the fans in the stadium. I don't think they'll accept it.
A lot of people have said that. And like you say, Christmas is a long time in a football season. From now till Christmas, technically, it's obviously halfway through the season. It's always that period where there's a lot of injuries. There's a lot of games over the Christmas period. But he could be gone. The problem is, and as we all know, our owners are not ruthless.
No.
So they'll be quite happy to go, well, we're 10th at the moment. We'll see how it goes for the next 4 weeks. He wins a couple of games. Oh, he's okay. See how he goes for the next 4 weeks. We don't have that. And you can see in our squad, you can see in our transfer business, you can see in the philosophy from top that we don't have that. No one's scared of the boss man. No. People are doing what they want. Because if someone was scared of the boss man, you mean to tell me anyone with ambition is signing off this Xhaka deal?
It's wild, isn't it?
Imagine Abramovich. You'd have the Abramovich at your door.
If Abramovich couldn't sell him, he'd be like, listen, you're going on loan for them 2 years until your contract's done.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Simple as that. Unbelievable. It screams out, apologies, screams out lack of ambition. Screams out lack of ambition.
Oh, big time.
Fran, are you on today, by the way? Craig's asking.
Yeah, I'm going to get the sun, and then I'm going to come back on. We're going to speak about the Kane and Lukaku one ours as well at 4 o'clock. So 4 o'clock, I'll be on as well.
Yeah. So there you go, man. 4 o'clock on Fran's channel. Make sure you subscribe. By the time he leaves this stream, I want him on 1,000 people. I'm sure we can do it. Let's move on. I mean, more, I would say bad news then, because I don't see the Xhaka thing as good news. I would say that's bad news as well. Thomas Partey, who has actually looked very good in pre-season, in my opinion. Looked like the Atletico Madrid Thomas Partey. Typical Arsenal fashion. This guy missed 6 games in 3 years at Atletico Madrid. Comes to Arsenal, he's missed 16 games now in 1 season, and he's injured again. And Chris Wheatley saying he'll miss the first 2 games of the season, so he's going to miss Brentford away and Chelsea at home. He may return for Manchester City away. I mean, what do we do from here? When you look at the options we got left, do they have to go into the market?
Well, thankfully, like you say, it's not a long injury. God forbid if it would have been a long one. So hopefully it'll come back. And a half fit Partey is still better than what we have in that position at the moment. So
yeah,
this makes it even more evident that we need to get someone in quick.
yeah.
We know that transfers can be complicated. They're not as easy as we want this player, go and get them. That's why you're linked with so many players, whether it's Aouar, whether it's Neves, whether it's, whoever it may be. It's very hard. And if they don't want to be a part of a sinking ship, as some players would see as at the minute, they're probably thinking they don't want to be a part of that, and they're going to put the option. So,
yeah.
One, I'm not sure who we're going to get. And two, if we have to start with Xhaka and El Neni, but surely Lukonga's got to start because he's been a bright spark. He's been a bright spark in a couple of the games. And like you say with Partey, maybe it was his first season, moving, banging out the noodles at first, not good for the old muscles and that. You know what I mean? They're not good for the diet. So maybe he's had a good preseason and he looks a lot fitter. He looks a lot happier. Obviously, the injuries cost him, but yeah, but games are won in the middle, or won or lost in the middle of the park.
Yeah,
we've seen it, week in, week out. So we need something. We need something big time.
It's crazy. What do you make of this? People saying like, how come players seem to come to Arsenal and get injured all of a sudden? Do you think there's something wrong with the training or the physios? What do you think it is?
It's strange, isn't it? Because there is certain clubs that go through spells of having this name, this tag.
Yeah.
And in the past, through experiences in the past, clubs have had to get rid of their fitness coaches, or clubs have got rid of their physios because they were doing the wrong type of physiotherapy and they were doing the wrong type of recoveries. So it could be to do with recovery. It could be simple things like what foods they eat in the canteen, which sounds crazy. But I remember when Harry Redknapp went to Spurs and they didn't serve, apparently before Harry Redknapp went to Spurs, you weren't allowed white bread.
Okay.
And Harry Redknapp's gone in and he said, listen, I want a couple of slices of white bread. And they went, sorry, Harry, we don't have them. And he went, listen, white bread ain't going to get me in the Champions League. You need to sort it out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have these crazy things that people have in the system at a football club that could be costing us. Or it could be because he's having to do a job that he didn't have to do at Atletico. That's
where I see it, because look at the midfield he was in at Atletico Madrid and the players, the way they keep the ball. He didn't have to do as much running.
Exactly.
Now he's babysitting El Neni or Xhaka or last year Ceballos.
Yeah, you might have to put an extra 2 kilometers during the game in, and he's not used to it. So then he gets niggles. His recovery might not be right. So yeah, it could just be that.
It's a big blow for Arsenal, man. I mean,
Huge.
There was a super chat. Apologies. I think I did click on it. Where is it? SB said, I'm sorry, but we're losing to Brentford 2-0. I mean, obviously, I hope he's wrong. Appreciate the super chat. But as I was saying yesterday, I don't feel like Arsenal are prepared for the new Premier League season. If I'm the Brentford manager, Friday night, Sky Sports, under the lights, first game in the Premier League. Wow. I'm thinking I'm having a real go at this Arsenal team, with no Partey as well.
I think they will. It's one of those. It's always a threat when someone comes up from the Championship, because you don't know how they're going to be. And the season can start off slow, but Arteta has no credit in the bank to be starting off slow. Zero. So he's got his writings on the wall, in it. Ivan Toney, bags, we struggle. Everyone's shouting we should have signed Ivan Toney, etc. They're buzzing. Or it could go the other way, and we could smash them, and they could get them stage fright and be shocking. But it ain't the first game that you want. If you're Arteta, you do not want it, because the energy that Brentford are going to bring to the table, we might not be able to cope with that energy. We might not be able to cope.
Yeah, they're going to be absolutely fired up and buzzing for that game, man.
Buzzing, mate. Buzzing.
I mean, I'm going to touch more on the transfers in a little while. I can see a lot of you commenting. But just while I've got you, and I want to get your opinion on a few other things. Obviously, Harold's gone missing, Yo,
that tweet that you put up was hilarious, mate.
It's amazing, wasn't it? So many people
it.
commenting on that.
And he started laughing. It's gone, Hotspurs? Oh, mate. It was...
Top Spurs? I've never heard of Tottenham.
And he said, have you ever heard of him? And he said, no. And he started laughing. Oh, I was in stitches, mate. Stitches.
Harold's gone missing. No one can find him. You know, Nuno's looking for him. But listen, in all seriousness, a lot of people are criticising Harry Kane for going on strike or whatever. He's trying to force his move to Manchester City. I was having a debate this morning on Twitter. I'm saying, well, what's the alternative? He's 28. He keeps his mouth shut. Daniel Levy doesn't sell him. And he retires at Tottenham with no trophies. Do you think he's wrong for going on strike to try and get a move?
You know what? It's a tricky one. So I put the other day that it's Daniel Levy who's been disrespectful by not carrying out his gentleman's agreement, if this is the case.
Yeah.
I'll go back to the story, as you know, where the chairman wouldn't let me leave. So, you know, I threatened to steal his R8 keys, his Audi R8, and he had to let me go. I had to switch on him because he was being not very nice to me. So I switched on him and, you know, make sure no one's got an R8 in the chat because I could come and take R8. But, so for me, even though I'm older now and I'm wiser now, he still has to make a stance because exactly what you say, what else does he do if he really wants this move? And Daniel Levy has said, apparently, gentleman's agreement, that apparently he can leave when he signed his other deal.
Yeah.
And this is out of character. Like, you know, this is out of character. You know, England captain, this, you know, this perfect family man and this perfect humble player, very professional.
Yeah.
So he has got to the point where he's saying this needs to happen because you think, listen, if Man City coming in for you and you've been promised and it takes you to the levels that you need to be at, so people start recognize you as a world-class striker and one man is in the way, come on now. If a man's in the way of you and your shopping bill, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. let me add a little bit of balance because I always say, you know, we have to balance out an argument.
Yeah.
In the defense of the club, and you know, we're Arsenal fans. I ain't really one for defending Tottenham, but just from a footballing point of view, 2 years ago, Kane signed a 6-year contract.
Yeah.
Right. When you sign that deal, you're going to make life difficult for yourself if you're trying to leave.
Especially that long, yeah.
Especially that long. And the second part of it, should he have got that gentleman's agreement in writing on the contract? Can you ever trust a chairman to just give you his word and shake your hand?
Listen, you can't trust some of your best mates on a gentleman's agreement. So you can't trust a man who's not your mate and there's millions involved. You know what I mean? There's millions involved. It's naive. It's very naive to think that he's going to say, okay, no problem. I'll let you go. You're my prize asset. So he's got to get that in writing. And on the club's defense, like you say, gentlemen's agreements 9 times out of 10 don't ever go through. They don't even come to fruition.
Yeah.
And they can just say, well, you know, things have changed. You know, we had a gentleman's agreement, but things have changed. It wasn't in writing. So you're under contract. We pay you enormous amounts of money.
Yeah.
Get to work and do your job. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, listen, South London's finest. It's the other way around. Don't trust a man with long hair. All right. You see these slick guys with long hair? Don't trust them.
Oh man, I'm telling you, Kane. Listen, I saw Rio Ferdinand. He tweeted yesterday. He said, if Paul Pogba did this, Raheem Sterling did this, public enemy number one. Every footballer, agent, pundit would be annihilating him. Harry Kane doesn't seem to get quite the same treatment. You know, we kind of know why, but do you think it's wrong that he's...
The race thing always comes in because, you know, the world that we live in, let's be honest, let's not shy away from that. That's a small element. But also, the Golden Boys tend to get away with a lot more, don't they? In life, in the workplace. The Golden Boys get out, you know, he's never been in the newspaper for anything bad. He's never... So, as we say, Aubameyang's got credit on the pitch. Sometimes when it comes to media, Kane and people like this have credit on the pitch, but it's propaganda. It's the media. We know how it works. And if this was Pogba or Sterling, then trust me, it would be very, very different headlines. I can tell you that. Very different.
Do you know what I mean? Look how calm the Daily Mail are being. Harry Kane expected to return to training by the end of the week.
Oh,
you know, how calm, you know.
You know what? If that was Sterling, it would be a picture of a G-Wagon and he's driving away. And it would say, and Sterling refuses to come.
They'll be like, you know, Jamaican gangster goes on strike.
With his Richard Mille watch on and his Lamborghini. Off he goes.
You know how it goes, man. You know how it goes. But Kane, listen, what's your prediction? Do you think he gets the move, or do you think Daniel Levy digs his heels in and prices them out of it?
Well, if you look at history, normally the big players do get the move, don't they? If you look at history, they tend to come to an agreement somehow to make it happen. Because if he don't get this move, he's never getting it.
No.
He's never, ever going to get this move because they'll go with someone else. And he knows that. Daniel Levy knows that. Everyone in the camp knows that. So they need to come together and somehow make it happen. And now, obviously, it seems like Grealish is, hasn't got the minerals, if that's true, to make the step up. Then they're going to even more push for City to try and come in. I think they just want another 10, 15 million, don't they? Being greedy. Levy's being greedy.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of them. For me, City need Kane more than Grealish. I don't even think they desperately need Grealish. They got Sterling, Foden, Bernardo, Mahrez. They've got real quality out wide. They've only got Jesus now with Aguero gone. I think they need Kane more.
Well, what were you saying just before we came on? The reason, if it is true that he's may turn City down, is because he knows he's not going to be a superstar at first. He knows he's not the first name on the team sheet. Does he have the minerals for that next challenge? If he doesn't go, then he clearly hasn't got the minerals. No.
I mean, they're saying here, Aston Villa star Jack Grealish is returning to Villa Park and rejecting a bid to move to Manchester City and upping his contract. Chooses an opportunity at legendary status over a clear path to silverware. I mean, do we just look at that as Grealish has bottled it? Most people would want to go to City, play for Pep, win loads of trophies. Or do we actually give him some credit and say it's his boyhood club, he lives there, they said he'll be the highest paid player in Aston Villa history. Do we actually applaud him for that? Or do we just say, do you know what? Big players, man, you don't reject them kind of moves.
I think it depends on you as an individual. People will have different, what cloth are you from? Where we're from, it's a very different cloth to say someone else where they're from a different area, whatever it is. We look at it as he ain't got the minerals, he lacks ambition, he's bottled it. What's he thinking? Whereas someone else would look at it, well, he's being nice, he's being loyal, he wants to do well for Villa. Winners don't make decisions like this. Winners say, thanks ever so much, but I'm taking myself to the next level. So for me, that's a very clear indication of he's not a winner. Winners don't make decisions like that.
I mean, first of all, before we carry on with that, you've hit the 1,000, so congratulations, Frank.
Here we go, people.
Here we go. PS5 settings, people.
End of the month. PS5 settings. End of the month. Get yourself in them. Get yourself in the mix for this PS5 at the end of the month, people.
Just to let everyone know, how are you going to do the draw exactly? Then how do you do it?
What I do is we can go on TubeBuddy, like when we did the cash giveaway. Remember when we did the cash giveaway? So how we're going to do it is end of the month, we'll probably do another live stream, me and you, and then we'll ask people to comment on this live stream, and then we'll pick a winner out of the comments, 24 hours after we've done the video. So it gives people time to watch the video and put the comments in. Then we'll nip on, do a quick announcement on your Twitter, on my Twitter as well. So we'll do it via just a random
T's and C's apply.
The wife has told me terms and conditions. Let me tell you, right? I had to ask the wife to see if I could announce it because she said, "Yo, you're spending too much money." So
you know what I mean? No, but congrats, man. Well deserved, Fran.
Listen, I love it. Thank you, everyone. Do appreciate it. And you've been a great help as well, brother. Big time. Big
come on, man. You know what I mean? We have to grow together in this.
Yeah.
But listen, you got 5 minutes. So in terms of Grealish, looks like he's gonna stay. The other one, another striker, Lukaku, 100 million euros offer. 100 million euros plus Marcus Alonso, it says. And Inter have rejected it for Lukaku. What do you make of that? Do you think he's worth that kind of money? How highly do you rate Lukaku now?
I think that's a desperate signing.
Do you?
I think it's a desperate signing. You know why? He hasn't improved since he's left the Premier League. He's the same player. He's just gone to a team which were the best in Italy, and he's scored more. I wouldn't say he's improved. I watched him in the Euros. Again, couldn't bag a bag of cement. Couldn't control a bag of cement. Have you ever tried controlling a bag of cement? It's the easiest thing. I think it's desperation through the fact that if they get a striker, they are within 3 points of beating Man City to the league. That's how they look at it, because Man City don't have the striker.
Yeah,
so they desperately need a striker. And I'm surprised Inter have turned that down. Now I know they desperately want to keep him by all reports. That's why we got a chance to get in Martinez. They desperately want to keep Lukaku, but it's getting some momentum. I think we're gonna have two unbelievable transfer deadline deals. Within that week. I think we're going to have two world record deals. And it won't surprise me if one comes from Man City and one comes from Chelsea.
Because like you said, I think Chelsea have spent all summer trying to get Haaland. The numbers are too high. I'm reading that Raiola wants 30 million euros. And then his dad, Haaland, is asking for like 15 million or so. So you've spent 45 million before you've even paid the player. Do you know what I mean? Like,
these men want more money than Dortmund.
Do you know what I mean? And then Dortmund won 150. It's like that deal is way too much. So they're now looking at Lukaku. Lukaku obviously was there under Mourinho, went to Everton, went to United. There's such a lack of top quality strikers around now that I think it says that Chelsea are going to go back in with an improved offer. Could be £100 million, which is like 120 million euros. I mean, do you think Inter Milan will take that, or do you think they'll just dig their heels in?
Maybe. I think if it gets, like you say, 100 million English, 95 million English, maybe that gets it over the line. They're looking at Haaland, Kane. They're not going to get Kane. So looking at Haaland, Lukaku, Kane. They're all around 100 to 150 million. That's where they put Lukaku. Now, there's no one else in the market. So it looks like desperate they're going to try and get it happen, but it's just the battle of the strikers. Battle of the strikers at the moment. Whichever the top clubs can get the strikers in. Unfortunately, we don't have any funds to get nowhere near these lot. But I can see City getting Kane and Chelsea pushing everything to get Lukaku.
The crazy thing is, if one of them gets that deal done, the other one doesn't. That may win them the title.
Oh, I think that makes them favourite. Whoever gets that striker in, I think makes them favourite.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it, man? You got to shoot off 2:30?
Yeah, I've got to shoot off now.
Yeah. No, listen, I appreciate you coming on, but we'll do something again, start of next week or something, and we'll do something on your channel start of next week.
We need to get this weekly thing going as well. Everyone keeps asking on the channel, like, when's Curtis coming out? I say, listen, we're going to get this weekly one going now. So we'll do that. Yeah, unfortunately, I got to go just because the little ones at a coaching school. So I'd love to stay in the chat, as you know. But big love to everyone. Really do appreciate it. Getting over that little first milestone. And onwards and upwards, as we always say. Onwards and upwards.
Big up Fran on the 1K. Yeah, back at 4. So check him out at 4, people.
I'll be on at 4. So big love, everyone.
All right. Take care, bro.
Big love. Big love.
All right. Big up to Fran. Right. I'll carry on. We'll get into the Arsenal transfer news, people. Big up to you lot for supporting him as well. And appreciate you supporting me, of course. 1,300 of you in here right now. So let's crack on with the Arsenal stuff. I'm going to try and give you a little bit to be excited about. We can't all be doom and gloom all the time. This is the bit of news that might give us that little bit of excitement, whether it's going to happen or not. Chris Wheatley exclusively today announced Arsenal have proposed a player plus cash deal for Leicester midfielder James Maddison. We've been speaking about him for a couple of weeks now. It was said that Arsenal hadn't made any official approach to try and get him. They have made an official approach now. They have offered a player plus cash for James Maddison. As he said, I'm told negotiations are very slow. I mean, when are they ever not when it comes to Arsenal? And like a game of chess, but the player is keen on a move to North London. Leicester fans in here, Sid, and hope you're well, bro. Maddison is staying. Maddison loves Leicester. Yo, I mean, that last sentence says the player is keen on North London, bro. So I don't know how much he loves Leicester. Do you know them ones? He might love Leicester right now, but he's ready to, have a divorce. So, but we'll have to see. I'm not getting excited because this is Arsenal. When can we ever trust Arsenal to get, a major deal across the line, especially one that's going to take a lot of negotiation when it comes to Edu? This is not fake news. This is definitely real. Chris Wheatley is the man right now when it comes to Arsenal. The interesting thing about the story, he's saying that the player is one of Nelson and Nketiah, Willock, and Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Now, I don't know. I'm just looking at Leicester's squad. Who would they want out of them? Eddie and Nketiah, I don't think they would need him. They've got Dakar and Iheanacho and Vardy. Nelson, possibly. I don't know. Are they short of wingers? Harvey Barnes? I'm not too sure who their wingers are, to be honest. Maybe they'd take Nelson. Ainsley, they wanted last January when they had a bit of an injury crisis. But, I'm not sure. Would they still want Ainsley? Joe Willock? Possibly. Goal-scoring midfielder. To me, I would say Willock or Ainsley, really. I don't think Nelson they would look at as that level yet to get into their team. They let Damari Gray go. I don't see Nelson as any better than Damari Gray. So, we'll have to see on that one. But Zach said, Joe Willock, I want him to stay. Chris Garvey says, keep Willock. MO7 said we should keep Willock. Listen, I would like Willock to stay, but if Willock was the difference to getting James Maddison, I'm letting Willock go. I got to be honest, people. I want Maddison in an Arsenal shirt next season. Listen, it's not to people saying Oz says excited should be banned from the Arsenal vocabulary. I'm telling you, man, it's something that since the Kroenkes came out with it, man, I just don't even like saying the word excited. It's like a gimmick for Arsenal, but it's good that we've made a move. We've officially made a move for him now. It will be difficult to get the deal done because I'm not sure if Leicester are going to take any of those players that we're offering. Like you can see, he's not saying anything in terms of whether it's been accepted or not. He says negotiations are very slow. When you read the full story, it says that Leicester are waiting to see what happens in the market. They are obviously going to have to find a replacement. Would they accept Joe Willock as a goal-scoring midfielder? Because I think Joe Willock could score those goals that Maddison gets. I think Maddison got 8 goals last season. Willock got 7 in half a season. So if we was trying to sell it, we could say, well, listen, Willock gets the same amount of goals as Maddison. He's young, and we'll give you money on top of it. Listen, I don't want us to get carried away. It's just at least it's something positive. At least we're making a move and, negotiations are there. If we knew that Leicester were not willing to sell, they would have just come out and said, listen, don't be silly. We're not interested. He isn't going anywhere. There's been no denial whatsoever from Leicester to say that they are not going to allow him to go. Everything I've heard, everything I've read is that Leicester are saying, meet a certain figure and we will allow him to move on. Whether that's a good thing or not, maybe they don't value him as high as we do. Maybe they think they can replace him. They've signed Samare. Maybe they go to a midfield three of Samare and Didi and Tillemans and don't play with a number 10 in Maddison. You never know. Georgie said 70 million is a good price in these tough times. Plus, you got a 250 million war chest. I mean, listen, I don't know if we have got that war chest. especially when it comes to Stan Kroenke. So I don't believe we do have 250 million. 70 million pounds for Maddison. I actually think he's a good deal for Leicester. Because I don't think he is worth 70 million pounds. I've got to be honest. But because Arsenal are desperate, because Leicester are not really forcing the sale, they would take that. Just get him and stop wasting valuable time in the market. Give Willock to Newcastle. They really want him at St. James's Park. They do. But maybe Leicester want him as part of the deal. Crazy Cliff said maybe 50 million plus Willock. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a Forrest said war chest, more like bear chest. I'm telling you, man. There's no such thing as a war chest when it comes to Arsenal. We just don't spend money like that, unfortunately. Even though we are one of the biggest spenders in the transfer market so far this season, I think we all know that that's nowhere near enough when it comes to what we need at the moment. You know, we need a lot more. Harsha said sign Maddison and Aouar, we will look a lot different. Maddison and Aouar, you're looking at 100 million. Listen, I totally agree. I would love to sign those two. Absolutely love to get both of them. What I wanted to talk about, Ans with the super chat, thank you very much, bro, said Arsenal should offer 50 million plus Arteta, Bellerin, Xhaka, Ainsley, Maitland-Niles, El Neni for Maddison. They'll probably reject that. They'd just rather have the 50 million. They don't want them other ones that you're adding. Do Arsenal now need to change their transfer strategy in terms of midfielders? Because clearly we were looking for a ball player to play next to Thomas Partey. We were looking for a Neves, a Locatelli, an Aouar, somebody of that ilk to go in there and play next to Partey. But with Thomas Partey's injury record since he's been at Arsenal, I think that Arsenal need to actually have a sufficient backup to Thomas Partey or somebody that plays similar. Now, maybe Sambi Lokonga is that player. I actually think Sambi Lokonga's looked really good in pre-season. And I think he needs to start against Brentford next to Granit Xhaka. I mean, I can't believe I'm even saying that. But the reality is Mohamed El Neni is even worse. So we do have to go with that, unfortunately. But do we need to go back in for a Basuma now? Do we need a powerhouse, an engine? Because it feels to me like Thomas Partey is now a bonus. It doesn't feel like he's a player that we can rely on every week. Not because of his quality, because of the injuries. You know, these injuries are occurring more often than not. It's a physical league, and he's picking up a lot of different type of injuries since he's been at Arsenal, which is very worrying. Martin Hall said in relation to Maddison, is he 30 million better than Odegaard? No, I don't think he is. I think he's better than Odegaard, but I don't think he's 30 million better. But it's how much we need the player. It's the fact that I believe Maddison has qualities that we desperately need. Goals from midfield. And we need that. We don't have that. 6 goals from our whole midfield last season. You know, Joe Willock got 7 by himself at Newcastle. We simply can't rely on our midfielders to get the goals. And Odegaard was here for 6 months. Now, I know it's a settling in period and not easy for him, but he doesn't strike me, Odegaard, as a player that's going to come in and get you 10 goals, 8 goals from centre midfield. Don't forget right back. I mean, we've got to sell. We've got to sell. In reality, at this moment, we've got Bellerin, Cedric, Callum Chambers. You could also play Ainsley Maitland-Niles there. You've got 4 options at right back. So they're not going to bring in a right back until they get rid of at least one of them. You know, one of them needs to leave the football club for Arsenal to bring somebody else in. And that's where we're at the moment, unfortunately, in terms of new signings and right backs and things like that, even though I totally agree with you. Christopher said Curtis Willock scored 8, and he's like, wow, 8, not even 7. He got 8. So he got more goals than the whole of our midfielders put together in 6 months on loan at Newcastle. Not even 6 months, January till May. So that just shows how far we are off. At the moment, I believe Arsenal need a right back. I would say a centre midfielder. I would say an attacking midfielder. And possibly a striker if we move on Lacazette or Nketiah or both. But to me, we need a goalkeeper as well. Sorry. Right back, centre mid, attacking mid. 4 minimum. Striker would be 5. I don't believe that Arsenal will address all of those situations. We are 28 days away from the window closing. We've got a lot of players that need to be sold. And I just don't see them getting all that done. I think in one of those positions, we'll end up being stuck with the players that we've got. I look at the Midland midfield now. Thomas Partey, Lukaku, Xhaka, El Neni, and Joe Willock. You've even got Torreira to come back, who we haven't moved yet. You know, I wouldn't be totally against Torreira staying at the moment just because of the lack of quality in the other players. But I saw on Instagram yesterday that Torreira is flying to Spain. He's not even coming back to England yet. He was supposed to be back in Arsenal training last week. So what is going on with Lucas Torreira? Have they given him, you know, an extra week off? I don't know what the situation is regarding this guy. Just doesn't seem to be coming back to Arsenal. Doesn't seem to want to come back to Arsenal. So you look at right back, we've definitely got to get rid of Bellerin. In midfield, we've probably got rid of El Neni, get rid of him. What happens with Joe Willock? And then with the strikers, like I said, we would need to get in a striker, but we would have to get rid of Lacazette or Nketiah, or maybe both. For me, I would be looking at right back. I'd be looking at Max Aarons. I don't think that's a difficult deal to get done. He plays for Norwich, 25-30 million. I think you get that done. Middle and midfield, I would still go back in for Basuma. Again, I think that's a deal you can get done. 40 million possibly. The problem is Ben White costs 50. I think they rate Basuma higher than Ben White. That may drive his price up to 50 million plus, which would be difficult. Attacking midfield, I would love Maddison. I would take Pereira from West Brom. Came out with this statement yesterday saying he's unhappy with the treatment that the manager's given him and things like that. He's 25, 26. I think he got 11 goals last year for a relegated side. I mean, I know he takes a lot of penalties for them, but still, if you score 11 goals for a relegated side in midfield, you know, you bring him into the Arsenal team. I think that Matheus Pereira is a bargain waiting to happen. Whoever goes and buys him, I think you've bought a real talent. They're saying 15 to 20 million. For me, that's one of the bargains of the summer. If we can't spend that big money on Maddison, I would be looking at Matheus Pereira from West Brom. Very talented. I think he's 25, 26, left-footed, Brazilian, strong, skillful, got a goal in him. Cheap price, makes complete sense for Arsenal. Big up Hakeem in the chat. Hope you're well, my bro. He said Max Aarons and Ben White next to each other. A bit small, ain't it? I mean, listen, I think I got Ben White's height wrong. Google stitched me up. I thought he was like 5'9", 5'10". I believe he's about 6 foot. I know Max Aarons is only like 5'7", 5'8". But listen, he's a good right back. A lot of right backs are small anyway, but I think he's a good right back, Max Aarons. You don't find many tall right backs that are that good anyway. Some people saying Serginho Dest from Barcelona, but I get the impression he's gonna play at Barcelona this year. Atongo said getting rid of Lacazette and bringing in who? A player who was your top scorer last season, and you, the fans, want the club to sell him. Same as I. No, listen, Lacazette. Listen, we have to be totally honest. Top goal scorer last season, but still not enough goals. 13 Premier League goals, not enough. 14 Premier League goals is his best ever season in an Arsenal shirt. At least Aubameyang's had a 23-goal Premier League season, won the Golden Boot, 22 goals the year after. Lacazette's biggest year is 14. He's a backup striker. He's not the main man. He's not going to get us in the top 4. He's not producing top 4 numbers. If we let him go, we've got to bring in a replacement now. The options are limited. Tammy Abraham, for me, is not the answer. I wouldn't want him. Danny Ings available, 29, 40 million. I wouldn't go for him either because of the age. Odson Edouard's available, but a lot of people now saying he's not quite as good as people were initially saying. Leicester could have signed him and walked away to sign Dakar. So does that say that he's not as highly rated as people think? I would probably wait until next year and go and get a better striker. Unless we can get Lautaro Martinez, unless we can get Lautaro, which I've got to be honest, I just don't think Arsenal will get that deal done. If they do, I'll be in absolute shock and I will hold my hands up and say, wow, you've shocked me, but it'll be very difficult to get done. It'll be very, very difficult to get done. The only thing we can hope is that, the fact that they're not willing to let Lukaku go means they may be willing to let Martinez go, but I don't think so. Tammy Abraham would be perfect for Arsenal. Y'all need to appreciate him more. Nah. Y'all need to understand he ain't good enough for us. Now, listen, if you're judging Arsenal off where we are now, you could easily sit there and say, well, Tammy Abraham's good enough for you. He'll get them numbers that Lacazette gets. He's not significantly better than what we've got. When you sell your car and buy another car, you want people to know you've upgraded. You know what I mean? I've got that new shape now. I ain't selling that to get the same. I don't see Tammy as any better than Lacazette. He's tall. He offers different qualities. But in terms of numbers, I don't see Tammy as a 20-goal-a-season striker. He's a 15-goal-a-season striker to me. 15 around there. That's where I would see Lacazette. Whipsnap said Lautaro Martinez would be our striker for many years if we got him. I think he would be a fantastic signing. That would be the signing of the transfer window for Arsenal, for me, if we could get him. And the crazy thing is, it seems as if he's available at the right price. And this is what's baffling me. 2 years left on his deal, rejected the new contract, Inter still need money. It seems as if he's not that happy with the fact that Conte left. Just slap the money down while you've got an opportunity. Sometimes in life, and in football, but even in life, sometimes an opportunity turns up when you least expect it, and you've got to be ready to take that opportunity. And it seems to me that Arsenal have got something of an opportunity here, and they can't afford to sit around, because all it takes is a Manchester City to say, do you know what? Struggling to get Harry Kane, we'll take Lautaro Martinez. They'll slap the money down. They'll get him straight away. Chelsea could do the same. So Arsenal have to make a move if there's any chance of it. Loz Incredible, thank you for the super chat, bro. Said, this is why we'll stay mid-table. People want to keep our best players like Xhaka and Laka from a season when we finished 8th. And you're right, Loz. This is what I always say. People say, oh, Xhaka was our best midfielder last year. Doesn't mean he's good enough. Lacazette was our best striker last year. Doesn't mean he's good enough. They were our best in a terrible season. So, yeah, Lacazette was our best striker last year, but it wasn't good enough. It was 13 goals. That doesn't get you top 4. You need 18, 20 goals. Xhaka was the best of a bad bunch. Partey was injured a lot, struggled for form. There were players around him that didn't help him. So it doesn't mean that we should be keeping those players because they are, our best players that season. What's the proof Martinez will score 20 plus? The disrespect on Tammy is unreal. Listen, I understand because like people saying, Lautaro Martinez has not scored 20 league goals in Italy. So there's nothing to suggest he comes here and smashes the Prem to bits. What I'm saying is when you watch him play, you can see the quality. The guy's tidy. He's got lovely first touch. He's got that aggression. He's got that link-up play. He's got the pace. Tammy Abraham, in the most respectful of manners, he's a bit unorthodox, a bit untidy. He makes it work for him. But you've seen it, man. Come on, everyone's seen it. His link-up play is a bit up and down. Sometimes it's good. He holds the ball up well. Sometimes his touch isn't great. His finishing is not sublime. I've seen Tammy miss a lot of clear-cut chances. Yeah, he'll score goals and he can probably improve. He's still only 23. But for Arsenal, we should not be looking for Tammy Abraham right now. Tammy, for me, doesn't elevate Arsenal. He leaves us where we are. We need elevation. Lautaro Martinez, for me, can elevate Arsenal. James Maddison can elevate. Basuma can elevate. We don't need people to come in and do what we're currently doing. It's as simple as that. I don't want... Listen, no disrespect. Respectfully, bro. Respectfully. I know there's a lot of Chelsea fans bigging him up. You're probably bigging him up because you want to get rid of him. But in a respectful manner, I don't want Tammy near Arsenal. I'm just keeping it real. I don't want Tammy at Arsenal. If he comes, then cool, we'll have to support him. But no, I ain't trying to have Tammy at Arsenal, man. We need bigger and better than that. Yeah, big up to Brazil, made the Olympic final. I think they're playing Spain. Well done to Gabriel Martinelli. Do you know what? I got to be totally honest. I've hardly watched any of the Olympics. I don't know what it is, man. Since Bolt came out of it, and I've seen no fans there. I just haven't been able to get into it. But we'll have to see. Hopefully he wins it. Cedric said Tammy is a Danny Welbeck 2.0. Rohan said Balogun has a better touch than Tammy. I think he does. Bartek said he would elevate from 8th to 6th. We need more than that. GSB, thank you very much for the super chat, bro. Said Xhaka is worse than Souček and Rice. Not good enough for Arsenal. 100%. Souček, look at the difference Souček made for West Ham, when he came in, and they only paid a few million for him. Are you going to do the Olympic final? I will check what time that is and what day it is. I could possibly. I know Pedri plays for Spain. I may do it. Don't forget as well, people, this Saturday, we're doing the Community Shield watch along, Manchester City against Leicester. I know there's quite a lot of Leicester fans who are in the chat. So we'll do Man City, Leicester, Community Shield. And then on Sunday, Arsenal against Tottenham. Second game for Arsenal in the Mind series, pre-season friendly. It's at White Hart Lane. And they will have fans there, Tottenham. So, still a North London derby, a game that we do not want to lose. It's going to be tough. Will Harry Kane be playing? Maybe not. And, of course, Thomas Partey will not be playing for Arsenal. Jake Snacks, big up Jake, said, just had to chase a huge snake from near my porch. Arsenal should do the same with Xhaka. Chase him out of there, man. Mr. Farage, thank you for the super chat, bro. Said Xhaka offers nothing in a game. No goals, no build-up. But Curtis, Laka offers more than goals. I take Laka over Aubameyang. Check Aubameyang's goals, all tap-ins. That's harsh. When Aubameyang was on form, he was scoring some good goals. But at the moment, the current form is in. We're not seeing it. And listen, I said this quite openly. We have looked a better team in pre-season with Lacazette up front than Aubameyang. My worry with Lacazette is always he has purple patches throughout a season. He has 6 or 7 games. You're like, oh my God, Lacazette, his link-up play is brilliant. His hold-up play is good. He's technically quality. He's scoring goals. This is the Lacazette we signed from Lyon and we love him. And then for 5 games, you're going, hang on a minute, we're putting crosses into the box. And Lacazette's on the halfway line in midfield. And he doesn't look like he's ever going to score a goal and he hasn't had a shot. And, and that's the frustration with Lacazette. We need that goal-scoring Lacazette to perform on a consistent basis. For me, Lacazette is a better all-round footballer than Aubameyang. The problem is, when you sign a striker for 50-odd million pounds, you need goals. And he has never proved enough with those goals. Aubameyang has always proved that he is the more natural goal scorer, obviously, aside from last year. But we'll see. It's going to be an interesting season. Who would be your number one striker this season for Arsenal at the moment? First game of the season, Brentford, Chelsea, Man City, first 3 games. Are you keeping the faith in Aubameyang and saying, listen, create chances, let's hope he gets some confidence, and let's get him back into the team? Or are you saying, listen, I'm going with Lacazette, the link-up play, the hold-up play is better. Let's hope that he can score more goals. Now he's got that energy around him from Saka and Smith-Rowe and, Pepe and those guys. Or would some of you go for something different? Would you go with Balogun? Would you go with Martinelli? Let me know in the comments. Who are you going with? Who's your number one striker going into the start of the season? Lucas Life said number one striker Aubameyang. Jonathan said Lacazette, Pepe, and Saka is my front 3. A lot of people have been saying that as well. Omar said Aubameyang warms the bench for me. Rich Guitar Gamer said Balogun. So you're going to go with the youngster, give him a chance. I mean, that means probably benching Aubameyang and Lacazette. That's a big, big call. McKeel said Laka. Dilly said Laka or Nketiah. Just not Aubameyang in this form. The thing is, and the interesting thing is, the crazy thing about football, when a player is out of form, you've got 2 options. You drop him and hope that acts as a wake-up call, or you continue to play him in the hope that he scores and finds his form. Different people react differently to both scenarios. Some players will sulk if they get dropped. Some players will take it as that kick up the backside and say, right, I'm going to prove everyone wrong. what type of character is Aubameyang? Would he bounce back from that, or would he sulk? I'm not sure. Lautaro Martinez, listen, get Lautaro in, and that's it. That's my striker. But until we have that problem to deal with, nice problem to deal with, we can only work with what we've got. False Nine said, the Gooner, yeah, we'll probably play Smith Rowe. Cyber Taven said Smith Rowe, Martinelli, and Saka. Lautaro Martinez, I mean, we'd all want that. Lacazette, Pepe, and Balogun. What formation? How would you fit them in, Brandon? Are you playing Balogun wide? Give Balogun a chance. Ammo7 said definitely Lacazette. Amsterdam, Thailand, Eddie or Tammy. Nah. We don't want none of them up front. TG said, sorry, just logged on. Martinelli had so much promise in striker, then we go and put him on the wing. I mean, to be honest, he ain't even been playing on the wing. Most of the time at Arsenal, he's on the bench. But listen, time will tell. I'm sure it will be Aubameyang. Although, to be honest, come the first game of the season, he may play Aubameyang on the left with Lacazette up front if Saka's not quite ready. Maddison Martinez is unlikely. I would like to think, this is just my feeling when it comes to Arsenal. I think Arsenal have got one more big signing in them. Big signing in terms of 50, 60, 70 million. I think there's one more. I don't see Arsenal signing Maddison and signing Lautaro Martinez. I think they'll get one. I think Maddison is easier to get because it seems as if he is interested in joining Arsenal. We've heard stories that Lautaro Martinez would be interested in Arsenal, but there's nothing really concrete there. Yeah, Robbie's been butchering his name, man. Lautaro Martinez, he's calling him, I heard. Big up Tony, main guard. Thank you very much for the super chat. Much appreciated. Said, last game of the season against Brighton, Arteta said they have their summer plans. This manager is a joke. Seems like he's making it up as it goes. Now, listen, Tony, he never said his summer plans were Arsenal related. Maybe he meant, I've got some great summer plans. I'm going back to Spain on holiday. Edu's going to be in Portugal on the jet ski, and we're going to have a great summer. He never actually said Arsenal was in his summer plans. But no, Tony, I hear you, man. He's, I don't know what kind of clear plan these men had about Arsenal. It seems as if they're freestyling. It's like a rapper going into the booth and he's got no lyrics written out. He's just guessing what to say. And I would love somebody. This is what I said. The press conferences for me are boring. And I know that some of these, these journalists, they're told what they can and can't say. But my first question would be, okay, Mikel, you said at the end of May that you and Edu and all the board had a clear plan in terms of your transfer business. At the moment, you haven't really sold anybody. You still haven't addressed midfield, right back, attacking midfielder. You've got players running down their contracts. What has happened to that plan? Where is that plan at? So I completely agree with you here. I feel like we're just going through the motions. Timmy said, another big signing, bro. You think you've got Champions League? I mean, big signing in terms of expensive. I'm not saying it's a name brand signing, but expensive. Ben White is an expensive signing, not necessarily a big signing in terms of, he's not a big name. So I hear you. We ain't Champions League Arsenal, but, I don't know. Maybe players are still interested in joining Arsenal, man, for the history and the money. We pay big wages, too big probably. Don't want Eddie. Man will make the phone celebration after scoring in a 4-1 defeat against City. I'm telling you, man. Bielsa, would you guys take Bielsa at Arsenal? Very good manager. Plays great football. Hendon Guna said, good afternoon, Curtis, and all watching. Just back from the gym. Get them gains, bro. I was there this morning, man. You know what I mean? Trying to get them shoulders. Big up, people. We got nearly 1,800 people in the chat. Thank you very much for your amazing support as usual. Amazing. Really appreciate it. Smash a like on the video. Can we hit 1,000 likes as usual? We've been hitting it every day and getting great views as well. Subscribe if you haven't already. And like I said, thank you very much for everyone for helping us get past 30,000 2 days ago. Much appreciated. Big up Richard Reed. He said, big up Big C. Just catching up after a long weekend. Must admit, I'm feeling very apprehensive for the new season. I hope they prove me wrong. Bro, I couldn't believe it. I actually found myself shouting during a preseason friendly against Chelsea. And I was like, yo, I said to myself, don't let Arsenal affect your summer. We've got a whole season coming up of Arsenal stress, Arsenal therapy sessions, Let me not get agitated during pre-season, but they got me furious. I was shouting during the pre-season game against Chelsea. 2 weeks and it all starts, not even 2 weeks. I think we're 10, 11 days away from Arsenal against Brentford, Friday night in the Premier League. I want to see at least one more signing through the door. Buenos Aires Gunnar said, clear plans only Stevie Wonder can see. Bro, yeah, none of us can see it, unfortunately. Massively contradictory, Arsenal. They tell you one thing and tend to do another. Modrill said we need Guendouzi back in midfield. I mean, that one's done. He's finished. He's gone. Chris Fraser said, love Bielsa, but our squad cannot handle his style. We'd be relegated. And apparently his training sessions are outrageously hard as well. I just don't think these guys would be up for it, man. They're not on that. Cap said I'd take him. He would have to change so many players to make his philosophy work. Giroud better than Lacazette, said Kaif. Arsenal Queen said we need Saliba back. The crazy thing with Saliba, this is what baffles me with Arsenal. I like Ben White, right? I'm saying this. I like Ben White. I think he's a good signing, and I'm pleased that Arsenal have signed him, and I really hope he has a bright future at Arsenal. I think we overpaid for him, 100%. I think he's a 30 to 35 million pound player. But we almost created a problem that wasn't necessarily there, in the sense that we could have probably played Saliba right centre-back this season and use that 50 million on a centre midfielder or a right back or a number 10. But instead, we loaned out Saliba to go and spend 50 million on a centre back. Was that necessary? Maybe we should have bought the centre mid, bought the right back, bought the cam, bought the goalkeeper. Then you could have said, do you know what? We've got them signings done. Yeah, maybe let's go and get a centre back. But as I said, it doesn't matter what order you get those players in. It's just, are Arsenal going to address those other situations? I can see Arsenal either not buying a centre midfielder or not buying a right back. That is the worry for me. Mini Boss said Saliba is only 19, not ready yet. I mean, for me, the age doesn't matter. Fofana's 19, and look at him. He's a monster. Last season, he was fantastic. The age for me doesn't worry me. Every time I watch this guy play, I see quality. I see quality there that I would think that a coach would want to get into his ability and make him better. Rowan's saying it there. Saliba ain't ready, but Holding is. I watched Rob Holding chase after a Chelsea midfielder on Sunday and leave 40 yards of space behind him. I mean, that is absolutely dreadful. But people that'll get swept under the carpet. He got a new 4-year contract last year. The age thing does not bother me at all. In fact, I would have liked him to have got in the team anyway. Sometimes it's good to get them in the team at a young age. He's a quality player. He's young. Sometimes when you're younger, you're fearless. You don't care, Matt Armchair said, I had a season ticket at Posh when Fran was playing there. Class, big up Matt Armchair and big up Fran. Big up to the community as well. For those of you that missed the start of the channel, Fran was on here, FFTV, and we got him past 1,000 subscribers, which was fantastic. So really appreciate you guys and supporting him and that. Arteta can't make players better. This is a question that we need to start having, an open-ended discussion as well. And I'm glad you've said that. How many players... What we heard when Mikel Arteta came to Arsenal was he's a supreme coach. We always knew his management was possibly going to be a problem because he's never been a manager. We kept hearing he's improved Sterling, he's improved Sané, he's a great coach. How many players has he improved at Arsenal Football Club? Saka has improved under him, but was he on that trajectory anyway? I will give him the credit because he was the manager, and Smith Rowe has improved as well. So I'll give him that credit. I don't think Pepe's got any better. I would say Aubameyang has declined. Willian's been dreadful. Eddie's the same. Xhaka possibly has improved a little bit, but not to a level that is satisfactory. He hasn't got, he's probably can't get him to that level. But he decided to just loan out Saliba twice, didn't want to coach him, didn't want to try and improve him himself. Guendouzi got bombed, young player with talent. Mavropanos got bombed, a young player that apparently had a great year. Kieran Tierney, I mean, I think Tierney is probably on the level that he was when he came anyway. I just think he was on that level. Some people saying Pepe, but at the same time, I'd say he's partly held Pepe back. Look how many times Pepe's had a good couple of games and been dropped. Honestly, think Pepe has improved under Arteta. End of the season, he did. I agree with that. But what I'm saying is, I think Pepe could have been at that level sooner. So I will give Arteta some credit for that, but he's held him back for a long time. There were so many big games where you're like, how come Pepe's not playing? Why is he not in the starting lineup? Subbed him off a lot. So, okay, you can say Pepe has improved under him, but I would also, on the flip side, say Arteta's held him back a little bit as well by not playing him on a, overly consistent basis. Big up Leo Messi, surfing and sneakers. This is why I watch you, because you make perfect sense. Could have had Saliba with Gabriel and used that 50 million towards a midfielder we need. I would have had no problem with Saliba being given game time this season. Rob Holding played 30 games for Arsenal last season. Now, I'm sorry, people, but nobody can tell me that Rob Holding is Arsenal standard in terms of first team. If Rob Holding's your fourth choice centre-back, I can get my head around that. But he played 30 games for Arsenal last year. He was our most played centre-back. That makes him our number one centre-back. Whether that was by choice or by injuries, you cannot tell me Saliba is worse than Rob Holding. I'm not having it. I've seen him not in Italy, in France. He looks solid. He looks steady. He's quick. He's quicker than any of our centre-backs. I would have given him the opportunity. Obviously, he hasn't been given that opportunity. Even Martinelli hasn't played that much as yet, I think he prefers tried and trusted older players. It's easy when you're at Manchester City and Pep Guardiola's the manager and you're just the guy helping him. So Pep can say, you know what? You go and coach Raheem Sterling and Leroy Sané. That's your little pet project. Those two are supremely talented footballers. It's not going to take that much to improve Leroy Sané and Raheem Sterling. When you're actually the manager, all the pressure's on you. It's a lot more difficult to spend that time with players and coach them and take the time to improve them because you've got so many other things to think about. But I just think that the likes of Saliba and these guys would have improved us, Jack said 18-19, Aubameyang and Lacazette, 70 plus goal contributions. That was 18-19. Was that Emery's season? They were unbelievable that season. Just it's amazing when you think what would have happened if we'd have got Champions League football under Emery. He wanted Fabinho, he wanted Zaha. We just needed that Champions League. But hey, we are where we are. How do we get out of this situation now? I don't just like to discuss problems. I want to discuss solutions. How do Arsenal get out of the mess that they're in now? The only way to me at the moment to get us out of this mess is by bringing in players that improve us. From last season, we've only signed one player that really improves our starting 11, and that's Ben White. Even though for me, Lukaku looks like he could be a player that could get into our team at the moment, but I think we still need a level above that. Arsenal need at least 3 players that go into their starting 11 on top of adding Ben White. We need a new right back. We need a new centre mid. And we need a number 10. We can probably get away with a year of not buying a striker. Hope Aubameyang picks up form. Hope Lacazette scores. You've got Martinelli and Balogun and Ketia if he's still there. Get more goals from midfield. Improve your... you've got to look at it. Saka got Player of the Year last year. He didn't get 10 goals in the Premier League. Smith Rowe didn't get 10. Pepe didn't get 10. Those 3 for me can add another 5 goals to their game a season. 2 of them at least should hit double figures. So improve what you've got as well, and then we would have a chance. Zach said Saliba is our best centre-back. I mean, time will tell on that one. Big up Buenos Aires. Gunnar said, Curtis, Arteta loves Holding because his boldness reminds him of... He probably said, listen, do you know what, Rob? I'll give you a new contract on the basis that you shave your head off so you remind me of Pep Guardiola. Oh, dear me. Big up Jay in the chat. Hope you're well, Joshua. He said, big up Curtis. I want Arteta to work out, but I just don't see the future with him in charge. I'm 100% the same. Listen, I'm 100% the same. You guys know my feelings towards Mikel Arteta, right? I don't think he's the right manager for the football club. And with Zinedine Zidane and Antonio Conte out of work, I would be looking elsewhere. However, the club are not going to do that. They've decided they're going to back him. So what I need to see is the owners back this manager. Give him the money. Let him get the players that suit his style of football. Then there'll be no excuses. We can simply say, you've been backed, you've had the time, and you're not good enough. Until he gets backed properly, he's always going to have that excuse that, I wanted another midfielder, you didn't give it me. I wanted a number 10, I didn't get it. So I'm going to try my best to be positive regarding the manager. You know, I've been trying. I haven't slandered him too much. I don't think he's the right man, but I'm going to try my best to support him. However, if we're 2-0 down at half-time against Brentford next Friday, my whole mood might change. I might be saying something a whole lot different. But I'm going to try, you know. Alawesi said, what's Arteta's style of play? I've been trying to work that out for 18 months, bro. I think he wants to play like Man City. As I said, champagne football with Lambrini footballers, it ain't going to work, bro. So I think he's trying to play possession-based football. He likes to play out from the goalkeeper to the centre-back, through the lines, but we just don't have the players to do that. We definitely need a second goalkeeper. That's desperation. If Leno was to get injured now, you're playing a Conquo or an Arsenal. That's nowhere near good enough. Alexander said, why would you change him to somebody who managed the club for 2 years maximum and then what, regroup after every 2 seasons? Listen, number one, managers don't stay at clubs for that long anymore. You know, 5 years is like a maximum right now. The odd one does, but not many. All right, you're talking about Conte, who generally has a couple of years at a club. But who's to say if Conte doesn't love it at Arsenal, he doesn't stay longer than 2 years? I just don't think we would ever hire an Antonio Conte because of the owners and the demands he would make. But he is a great manager. You know, he's gone to Inter Milan for a couple of years. He's walked out and left them as champions of Italy. If he comes to Arsenal, gets us in the top 4 and leaves, I'll take that. Leave us in a good position. I hear what you're saying. Every fan wants longevity at a football club, but leave us in a better position, you know. Jake Snack says goalkeeper is pure desperation at this point. There's no way they can not go and get a goalkeeper. You know, I don't understand. That should have been addressed by now. You've got to be honest. Every day that you train as a footballer, there is a possibility of you getting injured. Bernd Leno could just go and take a goal kick and pull his hamstring, be out for 3 months. Then what? You start the season next week with who? A Conquo in goal? Man was doing kung fu kicks in Scotland. And Renarsson, Butterfingers. You can't have him in goal. Like Disturbed Digital says here, Keylor Navas is now number 2 goalkeeper at PSG. You know, their third choice goalkeeper, Areola, who I would have gone for, has just signed for West Ham on loan with an option to buy. I would have gone for him. I would take Sam Johnston and I would take Keylor Navas. He would be expensive. Arteta has improved only the contracts. Yeah, I agree. I think the contracts have improved. You know, we've got Balogun, Smith-Rowe, Saka, Martinelli, Aubameyang, new deals, Kieran Tierney. So in that sense, that is positive. But the playing style and stuff like that has not worked. Wazzy said we should play mixed possession and counter-attack. I agree with that. Sometimes when you can't dominate the ball, play counter-attack. Be quick and explosive. We've got the players. Tierney's good on the overlap. Partey's energetic. Lokonga looks energetic. Smith-Rowe can run and dribble. Pepe can run. Saka can run. Aubameyang can run. Hit teams on the counter-attack. You know, Arsenal used to mix under Wenger. in the Invincibles years. We used to mix the possession and the counter-attack style. So I think you're absolutely bang on there. When you can't dominate the ball, hit teams on the break. Reports say we've put in an offer for Maddison. We need to follow with a move for Onana and Aarons. Yeah, because listen, it's one of them, innit? You know, we can make all the offers we like. Offers need to be accepted. There's reports now that Lille are willing to sell Renato Sanchez. They need the money. You know, I think he's a quality player that we could be looking at. Our reports that he's available. I would be looking at him in midfield. I think Basuma would be expensive, but I'd like to get him as well. You know, there's options out there. You know, there is options out there. But this club have to show the ambition and go and move. So Curtis Xhaka definitely staying. Well, the reports are stating that Xhaka's accepted the 4-year contract with a pay rise. Who can blame him? More fool Arsenal for offering him the new deal. We miss Wenger ball, man. The early days Wenger ball anyway, not towards the end. Rodgers is very adaptive. You have to be nowadays. You can't have one style of football. That one-touch football under Wenger, man, it was ridiculous. Under Wenger, Pepe would have already been one of the best players in the league. Saliba would have got a chance. Martinelli would have been firing. I agree with that. I think Wenger would have got a lot out of these players. He loved them young players, man. He would have been, you know, giving them an opportunity. There's no way that Saliba's and that would have been getting loaned. Kung Fu kicks business, man. Man was Kung Fu fighting in Scotland, bro. I don't know what he was doing, but yeah, we desperately need a goalkeeper. Xhaka testimonial in 2026. Wow. Imagine Granit Xhaka getting a testimonial at Arsenal. I will not be attending that, by the way. I'll tell you that much. I think what Arsenal fans have to realise, when Granit Xhaka signs this contract, he will see out that deal. No one will ever buy Granit Xhaka on 120 grand a week. He will be at Arsenal until the end of that contract. For me, a horrendous contract offer. 2 years left on his deal. Even if you decide not to sell him, do not give him a 4-year contract, man. Stay well away. Big up Brandon. He said, I'm scared we're going to lose Saliba and he will turn out to be a world-class defender and end up at City or PSG. Mikel thinks we are City, but we're not. We're Arsenal. We just don't have these players. Listen, the huge risk is that when he comes back next summer, Saliba, he has 2 years left on his contract. He might turn around and say, you know what? I'm not interested in staying here. You lot need to sell me. You know, he's gone to Marseille. They're a big club in France. They're in Europe. He's with Guendouzi. You know, it's risky, man. If they were going to loan him again this year, they should have got him to sign a new deal. Big up Paul. He says, big up Big C. As a Gooner of over 35 years, I have never felt so disillusioned about my club. It's sad the state we are in, and it's embarrassing. Paul, I mean, you've been a Gooner for a long time, and I'm sure you've seen a lot of ups and downs at the football club. I speak to a lot of Arsenal fans, some older than me as well. And they say, you know, we've seen Arsenal struggle before, but the way the football club is running, it feels very disconnected from the fans. We have an owner that clearly is not showing enough ambition. It just doesn't feel like we're trying to turn things around. And that's what worries me. I can even get my head around the fact that we're struggling. You're not entitled to always be at the top in football. My worry is the fact that I don't know what we're trying to do to get back to the top. I don't see a football club that is demanding top 4 this year. I see a football club that's saying, well, you know, if we get back in the top 6, we'll be happy. You know, we'll tap everyone on the back. You know, I want real ambition, and I'm not seeing enough of that at the moment. Neil said Arteta has declined Martinelli, Ainsley, Leno, Nelson, Aubameyang, Willock, Willian, and Cedric. I mean, you've got an argument there, definitely. Jacques Cole, yeah, maybe he'll be back at left back. Paul speaking from the heart, 100%. Oh, Paul, that's a shame, man. You'll get Arsenal back soon. I mean, we've been saying that for a long time, you know. Paul speaking a lot of facts there. Listen, let's finish off on a positive note. History Channel FC is back in full effect. When we were kings, people, when we were great, on this day in 1999, we signed, in my opinion, the greatest Arsenal player of all time, the best footballer I have ever seen in the Premier League. probably, along with R9 Ronaldo, the best striker that I have seen, in my opinion. The guy, along with Ian Wright, Ian Wright, it was the one that made me support Arsenal, but this guy just took it to new heights. The greatest footballer I've ever seen at Arsenal. I loved everything about this guy, the way the guy talks about the club, the fact this guy was in tears when he got a statue outside the ground. Even when he talks, you just feel the emotion of the man towards the football club. What we would do to have half a player of this guy's ability. £11 million from Juventus. Thierry Henry. I had the pleasure of meeting this guy once. Unfortunately, when I met him, he'd only just signed for Arsenal. So when I actually met him, I met him at a game at Wembley. He was sat 2 rows behind me. I was with my dad. And I didn't even make a big deal out of it because we just signed him. And I was like, oh, that's that Thierry Henry, that winger from Juventus. He's quick, but he's not that good. I was basically acting like he was, Theo Walcott or something. Turns out the guy ends up becoming the best player we've ever seen at the club. And what a player. I would love to actually meet him now. Big up my boy Ads in the chat as well. Said, defo the best Prem player after Gerrard. You better relax, mate. I remember Gerrard doing back passes to Henry. Henry taking it around the goalkeeper. Gerrard's a baller, but he don't compare to this guy. World Cup winner, European champion, Champions League winner, FA Cup winner, Premier League winner, Golden Boot winner, the only player in Premier League history to score 20 plus goals and 20 plus assists in the same season. How much would this guy be worth now? I mean, Neymar cost 200 million. For me, this guy would go for even more when you look at the lack of quality strikers in the game nowadays. History Channel settings, people. I'll leave you to go on a positive note. Thierry Henry, man, the best player we've ever seen at Arsenal Football Club. Make sure you smash a like on the video. Let's get to 1,000 likes. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thierry, he changed football. He made man wear them gloves. He made man pull their socks above the knees. The best player we've ever seen at Arsenal. Enjoy the rest of your day, people, and I will see you tomorrow. I've got Deluda Guna on tomorrow from 2 p.m, so make sure you join me for that. Take care, everyone. Bless.